There we go. We can run this way. And if you're wondering what this big building over here is, this is the market of Trivios. So we'll take a look at the inn first and then come back and look at the market. So this is the inn. It was kind of designed to have kind of a casino type feel. There is no casino in here right now, although you could obviously change these to be a casino. And why there's a mixture of jungle wood and oak logs, I have no idea. Anyways, the Big Bertha the Dispenser, or I think those signs got mixed up. I think it is supposed to be Big Bertha the Dispenser, not Bertha Big Dispenser the, or Bertha the Dispenser Big the. Anyways, in the back of the inn is a little greenhouse area. Kind of acts as a little cafe as well. Nice little garden and everything. Now the inn goes up several floors with several different rooms. And if I can find the way through. This is kind of a room that was never properly decorated. Yeah, several different rooms. Keeps going up and up. Until it reaches a single point. I believe maybe this floor? No, it's the next floor, next couple floors up, something like that. Anyways, yeah, up over here. After this point, it's just two kind of penthouse suites in the side towers. Multiple levels and everything. Even their own little rooftop gardens. You get a nice view of the city from up here. Especially considering it's almost practically in the center. Anyways, let's get back down out of here. There we go. And down this way. And down this way again. Okay, now to go through the market. Now the market was... originally we were going to do like a Grand Bazaar type deal for the market, but it just wasn't quite working right with all the wool and everything. So we ended up changing it into kind of an Arabian souk. Now, it's got 9 different central hub points here. And in each connecting hallway to the lines of central hubs, you've got 4 little stalls. And this is basically what all these stalls are. There's supposed to be like a chest in here for storage. The stalls are all kind of basic and everything. However, on the in between... where there are no hallways, in between the sets of hallways, you have these larger shops where you can actually go inside them and everything. And there actually is a shop in here, the Luska Farms Mercantile Shop, where you can buy pretty much all their wares. You can even sell your rotten flesh and gunpowder at lower prices than you would find in Lyradel or Wintermist, but if you don't want to travel that far, you can put them here, and you can also donate bones to them, which they need for bone meal to make stuff grow. And you can see they have a nice little warehouse back here as well. Now originally that little warehouse area, like all the other shops, I'm just going to show off this one, had it was just a little extra room back here for everything. And for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason there's missing a block here. Why is there missing a block here? There should be a sandstone block. I don't know why. Anyways, that is the whatchamacallit, I can't even think of the word I'm looking for. The souk. The marketplace, the souk. In a nutshell, basically, it's this large area. It's got room for like 24 of those little stalls and 8 of the larger shops. So there's plenty of room for people to come in here. And it's fairly easy to expand this, make it bigger if you need to. It's fairly much copy and paste. I remember when we were building this, I was literally using World Edit to copy and paste like every 2 seconds. Because I would work on like I started out building like one stall, and then I would copy and paste it over, and work on it a little bit more, and then copy and paste the whole wall section, flip it over to here, and so on. I did not actually build the central points, though. Somebody else did that. Well, this area is fairly easy to make duplicates of, to expand it. And over here. Now is the Harbor District. The Harbor District has its own set of warehouses and shops, separate from the marketplace. This one, I believe, is, besides missing a door, I believe this would just be a small little shop. These would obviously be stuff situated more around the fishing industry. Over this way is the dry docks, which is where ships would be built. And I really like the effect of using the jungle wood with this texture pack to make it look like it's kind of mossy and so on. And you can actually see a ship being built in here, as well as over here. Now, unfortunately, the way that the gates work, the doors on these dry docks work, you can't actually finish this ship in order to get it out, apparently, because lifting up the gates, the ships would never make it out. I mean, even if you lifted up the gates so that the top of the gate was above the top of where the everything's pulling from, even then, a finished ship would never make it out. And these are actually triremes that are being worked on here. We do have a few other ships along here, including the large trireme that we'll swim out to soon. We also have several docks and cranes for the loading and offloading supplies. Plenty of warehouses and shops and everything. This one over here, I believe, is a warehouse in particular, I think. Yeah, the actual access to the warehouse itself, I think, would be either from the side or the rear. Let's go down the little alleyway real quick. But over here we have a few more stalls and everything. And as a matter of fact, this one isn't even a stall. This is the Sloshy Squid. This is a tavern. And right now nobody is controlling it, and I have no idea what's with the floor. Using the gravel or the mycelium or anything. And there's also a little fishing hole in here. If I can actually get in there. It's not letting me in. There we go. At least I think this is a fishing hole. Either way. Let me out. There we go. Whatever that's for, it's there. So, I really have no idea what happened to the floor here. I don't know whether or not this was intentional or something weird derped and happened and so on. We've got a few more stalls and everything. Over here is kind of a goods barge. This would be one of the ships you would typically see sailing from the farms, Luska Farms, and back over to the city. Back in here is where the crew would sleep and everything. Yeah, lighting. And now we're going to swim out to the trireme, which I guess would be indicative of what Trivios's navy would actually look like. And this is a ship that can work both off of sails and oars. You can actually see the oars here. Nice little effects and everything. Using the all the wood, different types of wood blocks. Now let's see if I can get onto the ship here. There we... not from here. Let's see. Can I do it here? Darn it. Is there... Whoa. Okay. Leighton apparently just helped me out by teleporting me in. I don't think he knows I'm doing a tour right now, but I think it may be self-evident that I was trying to get in here. Anyways, this area, since you obviously can't really access it as a regular player, isn't exactly decorated, I should say, all that well, but you can come down here. This is where all the people working the oars would work, and you kind of have to imagine that the oars themselves kind of come in here. Can't really do it that well. I mean, we would have to use just the logs and everything, pull them all through. And back here is the drum for the guy who sets the tempo and everything, to make sure that everybody's rowing in sync. You know, push, pull, and everything like that. So anyways, let us get back off this way. And I swear he must have flipped that back up or something, or I didn't have time to flip it down. Anyways, let's go back to the city. The next stop, you can already see it, is the palace, the Trivios Palace. Also known as the Scorched Palace, I believe. It is where the Scorched throne is, named so because it was claimed by the burnt man, and it looks like a flame. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But anyways, right out front of the palace are two large public gardens, one of which you can access from over here. Yeah, the Royal Gardens. They're still called Royal Gardens, even though they are open to the public. The royal family has their own, well, if there were a royal family or whatever, has their own private gardens within the palace. But you can already see the palace itself is kind of set on a little platform up above everything. Now, let's find that path, get back out onto the road. Or does this section not have an entrance onto the road? I don't think this section does have an entrance onto the road. Darn it. So anyways, we have to go back the other way. That's the same basic fountain you've seen in the whole marketplace. This thing, I kind of just walked through it without even saying anything about it. We were fooling around with using this as kind of a centerpiece to a little area for a while, and eventually we ended up using it in here. There we go. Let's go back to the road. Road. It's around this way. Let's do a little bit of running. Speed this up a little. Not take quite so much time. Now, you may notice there are no lamps along the roads. Instead, we have these braziers that are kind of set down into the ground. And originally they were open air above, but we kind of had to cover them because of all the hissing sounds it would make when it rained. That road takes you right back to the inn. Those are all the high-end houses. We're going to take a look at the palace first. Now, I ended up being the primary builder on this. Kalen, 501 Warhead, started this at first, but all he really had was the platform and the throne, and that was it. Now, this is the main entrance hall. It's kind of very nice and everything. You've got little side stuff over here, little sitting rooms and everything. It's pretty much the same on the other side. Access up to the library. Now, the library does exist on both sides of the throne room. And the palace is kind of split into two wings. You've got the main wing, the throne room wing, sorry, not ring. And you've got the garden wing, which is where all the housing suites, all the quarters are for people to sleep and everything. So you've got the larger section of the library, the eastern half, the eastern wing of the library, very large and everything. You've got kind of a little seating area entrance here, a little reception area, service desk, book return. Don't have permission to access that, as well as access back onto the second floor of the entrance hall. And on the other side, it's pretty much the same thing for the first floor, another little seating area. The library is very similar, but not quite the same. The reason being that it doesn't stretch the full length of the wing, because that's going into the other wing of the palace, the whole garden wing, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Now, you see that little area up there? That is not accessible from the library whatsoever. However, it is considered part of it. That is the private royal library, accessible only from the royal suites. Now, I'm going to access the throne room from the entrance hall because I think that is a much better view than going from the balcony. However, the balcony does pretty much ring almost the entire interior of the throne room. Now, just walking in here, you don't really get to a good feel for it until you go in and you look up. This place is huge. It is massive. and huge and everything. You can see the balcony and everything up along here. Down at the end, you've got a little bump out area where the throne is, and you can tell why it's called the Scorched Throne. I mean, made out of gold blocks and bricks and ringed up top with fire. This, by the way, is the actual seat right here, not the stairs down here at the bottom. But it looks like a flame, and Kaylin did make this for us. And I can't get back behind it. There we go. But it's actually, I ended up labeling it as the Scorched Throne, just to make sure that people knew what it was back when we were building everything, make sure they knew the name. And anyways, you have very large windows along the back here.